Okay. Hello, Miss. My name is MINGZE, and now I will start with my presentation. Here's my own information and content, and we will start with the first introduction. First is the budget process. The budgeting process is the rational planning of increases and decreases in the cash flow and financial position of a business in an operated manner to achieve the goals set or established by the business. The budgeting process can force business managers to consider changes in the environment and what needs to be done now, or forcing businesses to guard against risk. The next is the preparation of the sales budget. The purpose of the sales budget is to plan the business's budget for anticipated sales activities. By considering the sales forecast, it is necessary to avoid excessive risks so as to control the input of the reasonable expenses and ultimately maintain the balance of the sales and the sales costs. And the last is the initial preparation of budgets. The budget process initiated by the lower management and coordinated by the upper management can fully stimulate the effective use of the enterprise resources, which helps the enterprise to achieve the best use of funds and other resources. While this type of budget provides a better estimate of the true amount of the budget, higher budget requirements can force lower level employees to corrupt data. For example, employees may turn to overestimate costs for their own benefit, leading to discrepancies between budgeted and actual usage figures. And next, part two. Part two is the critically irrelevant Brewer's articles. Zero-based budgeting is a budget prepared based on zero, without regarding to past budget items and levels of income and expenditure. Burroughs points to the behavior of 3G capital following its acquisition of Heinz in 2013, which used zero-based budgeting to reduce costs to increase profits. 3G Capital's ability to aggressively cut costs in the short term looks very attractive in a zero-based budget scenario, but focusing on cost cutting is not good for long-term growth of the brand and makes the company less competitive. From Burroughs' article, it can be seen that zero-based budgeting ensures that managers consider expenditure for each budget period through a budgeting method based on actual needs, which helps businesses reduce costs and repetitive work, which will affect the company's cash flow, have a positive impact. Because most of the expenses that are not related to the actual operation can basically be defined as unnecessary expenses, which can directly reduce the operating cost of the enterprise and rapidly increase the profit level of the enterprise in the short term. From the perspective of the enterprise's own development, Cost control can always be an internal topic. Zero-based budgeting compares the expenses of business activities with income, with and pros and cons, and judges the rationality and priority of various expenses, which can help companies cut off unnecessary expenses directly in the budget stage. And next, point 3, plan control decision making. In the internal relationship of the enterprise, budget planning can help the organization to develop reasonably and effectively analyze its own management goals, identify gaps, improve in time, and enhance the binding and control power of budget planning, which will be conducive to the controllable development of enterprise financial performance. Budget control can take timely and correct measures to solve various internal management problems such as fund location, investment over budget expenditure, and extra budget expenditure, thereby reducing the readiness of budget and improving enterprise fund control activities. Therefore, the role of budget control is to enable managers and employees to clarify their quantitative goals and to discover the impact of behavioral deviations on goals in the timely manner in business process, so as to correct the deviations at any time and ensure the completion of the target tasks. Management accounting further reduces costs for businesses by distilling and breaking down overall objectives in financial form and effectively implementing and controlling them. In other words, the application of management accounting can make the implementation of corporate strategy goals more patient and directional and can provide a reasonable guarantee for the realization of corporate strategy goals. That's the part 4. Contribution of computing technology to organizational budget control. And first is the CVP analysis. CVP analysis can accurately readable the quantitative relationship between cost, business value, and profit, yes, and provide a theoretical basis and technical support for manager to formulate production and sales plans, product structure and and cost control and other decision-making behaviors, so that decision-making plans will not deviate from rationality. The first benefit, by using CVP, the best combination between moderate products can be determined and production patterns can be adjusted to maximize economics. In a market economic environment, if business leaders can responsibly adopt the CVP method, the decision-making level of the leaders can be turned to refined management, and the operating profit can be improved. And the problems. From a practical application point of view, CVP is theoretically based on the consistency of production and sales. However, this situation is difficult to achieve in real life, especially in the current buyer's market, where the product's inventory is quite large in case of oversupply. If the analysis is still conducted according to the original method, it will inevitably affect the accuracy of the results. Next is the ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is based on financial statement data and calculates common inventory turnover ratios, current ratios, according to different data ratios, so as to reflect a certain point in time or its corporate operating capacity, profitability, and solvency. And the first benefit. One of the advantages of ratio analysis is that it visually compares a company's financial performance to similar companies in the same industry to understand where the company is in the market, helping managers identify market gaps and examine their competitive advantage. These data gaps allow managers to provide support for improving a company's position in the market by comparing financial important metrics and the problems. However, while ratio analysis is beneficial for horizontal comparisons between different companies, this method is based on analysis of a single indicator and is less comprehensive. Whether it has different performance according to the different development cycles of the enterprise, and whether it can reflect the economic environment of the current situation requires further analysis and research, so the information provided by this method is less relevant to decision making. And the reference. And thank you. My presentation is finished.